Hey everybody, this is Heartless Spartan here with another 1/6 scale Toy Talk review. Today, I have the Dragon and Dreams World War II Wehrmacht Heer Mine Detector Jürgen Neumann figure. Forgive my German pronunciations throughout the video. I will have my own unedited assembly video linked in the description along with DiD's own instructional video. It's been a little while since I reviewed one of these, so let's get right into it. Okay, so here's our Wehrmacht Heer Mine Detector. We have a nice portrait on the front of our box. Pretty cool looking side portrait. We have a very nice layout of his equipment and his uniform on the back there. Another portrait on the side, looks pretty good. See him actively digging out a mine and disarming it. The mines do not come with this set, though. Same thing on the bottom. Now, as usual with DiD, we get this nice magnetic cover. If I take that off, we get another cover portrait on the inside. And on the other side of the cover, we get a nice grassy background there. That's nice. For once, it's not like a pile of rubble. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Usual DiD information there and some links to some of the directions for this figure on how to kind of put things together. See, and then if we take this top foam piece off, we get a reveal of our figure. His rifle, some of his little tools, ammo pouches, the main case for his detector. Let me go ahead and pull that out by pulling those two tabs up. Then we have a nice bottom layer here with the rest of some of his equipment and extra hands. Some of that stuff might be pretty deep in there. So what I'm going to do next is take all the stuff out of the box and then lay it out, and then we'll go over each piece. Okay, so here we have Jürgen out of the box. Let's go ahead and take a look at our figure first. Now, as usual, he's got a fairly nice, very well detailed head sculpt. This guy has quite the jawline on him. Bit of a fuller face compared to what we normally get. But he's even got some scars and stuff on his cheeks. You can see some of the veins on the skin. Like, there's like an incredible amount of detail on this. Very cool glossy eyes. That is awesome. Good detail on the eyebrows. Even his nose is a little bit more pink. Like rosy cheeks, just a little bit of like darkness around the jawline there, like he recently shaved. It's starting to grow back just a little bit. Pretty decent hair sculpt too. Kind of got like a high and tight going on there. Yeah, a little pink in the ears even. A little bit of dirt on his face as well. I mean, that's a really good looking head sculpt. All right. His uniform does not have the insignias on it yet or any of the pins. That's something we have to put on later or on ourselves. Or do that ourselves, I should say. It does come with it in little baggies. We'll look at that shortly. Of course, it's made of a very good material. Has a very good look to it. Let's see. Very cool camo trousers. Some pretty nice boots, and then there's these straps around them. I'm kind of new to that. What might those be called? Oh, okay. So they're German field canvas gaiters. Oh, even, yeah. Well, I was talking about these. These are the gaiters that go around the boot to just kind of keep stuff from going into the boot. But, man, there's even, like, painted studding down on the bottom. And it's sculpted there, too. That's always cool when there's, like, detail on the bottom of the shoe. It's like, you're not going to look at it, but it's there. And then these are, like, some, like, leather boots, too. Very good detail. Now, if we take a look at the articulation on this figure, let's see. We get our usual good head roll and turning. Limited a little bit by the thickness of his uniform. Arms, some limitation by the uniform, but otherwise pretty good. Yeah, let's not do that particular salute. Elbows. Yeah, the jacket's pretty thick, so it does limit the articulation a little bit. Wrists, turning. Now he does have like the DiD bendy hands on there to where you can pose the fingers. It's just these hands have the little holes in there, but usually these are good for holding accessories that the pre-sculpted hands aren't so good at holding. You can do different poses and hand signs with these if you like. You know, just kind of give them a rock out if you want. But yeah, so same on the other arm, and then body articulation in the chest. Looks like there's it's in third, so the upper waist, the middle waist, and then at the hips. And then our legs. I won't go back too far, but he could potentially almost kick himself in the butt if he wants to. And they'll go out pretty far that way as well. I don't really want to pull the pants out of the boots there. Then his boots are, well, his feet are on a ball joint, because I think his feet actually go into the boot. All right. So pretty good articulation on there. Some limitation due to the thickness of the jacket, but I mean, it's otherwise pretty good. So let's go ahead and set him off to the side, and we'll check out his equipment. So let's look at what I'm assuming here is his combat engineer tool pouch. Now that looks like it might hook onto his belt somehow. I will have an assembly video of just me. It's going to be unedited, where I'm just kind of like figuring out how to put him together. But this will open up. I don't want to fiddle with it too much now, because those look like leather straps, and that could be kind of... You don't want to mess with that too much, because they'll start to tear over time the more you kind of undo them. So I'm going to set that off to the side for now. That was just kind of a canvas bag. He does come with a little wristwatch. Some good detail on that cannot speak right now. Wristwatch. And then he has a multitude of tools. So some pliers, these might be the crimps here. They're not metal. They're plastic. Some of them have a little bit of posability to them. Like, you actually can operate some of them. Oh, functionality, I mean. Let's see, it comes with a pair of scissors. Now, these are all like little plastic ones. They're not metal. Let's see, a small pocket knife. It'll open up all the way there. Swings back in. Let's see, I think this is the wrench of some kind here. Then we have, I think, wire cutters. These I don't believe have functionality. Yeah, it looks like they're molded together at the bottom there. Not so sure what this one is. If I figure it out, I'll either add some text up here on the screen, or add the name of it down in the video chapters for each piece. So I'll go ahead and set that down for now. We also get a roll of like string. It can be unwound, but I'm just gonna kind of keep it nice on there. I don't really see a point to me unwinding that. It's just string. Here we have a can of what they're calling a Isolier brand. If it's a German thing, then forgive me on the pronunciations. Let me try to open that a sec. Okay, so I had to use some tweezers to I held this part and then pushed the tweezers down on this and pulled it back so it could open up. But we have a little roll of what I would call electrical tape in there. Whenever things go in a miniature scale, it's always kind of unique and interesting to see that, no matter how simple and everyday it is. And we also get, now this is metal. Not exactly sure how it undoes, though. I thought these were supposed to turn somehow. There we go. Okay, so it's a little folding ruler. Very tiny miniature ruler. I think I might be holding it upside down, but that's okay. We get the point of what it is. Here we have a German canteen. Now, let me see if I can cheese this real quick. Oh, no, it's strapped on there. But the cup, I think the cup is plastic, has little metal bands on it though, but it does lift off, and then the cap does come off the canteen, which is nice. So you could actually maybe pose him pouring himself a drink. I'll set that off to the side and fix that later. We do get two K98 ammo pouches. Now there's not any clips, right? This uses clips. Yeah, clips in there. It's just foam to kind of puff them out a little bit to make it look like there's something in there. But those look like they'll slide onto his belt fairly easily. And of course, we have his, do believe it's a K98, his rifle here. Now this has a little bit of weight to it. Has a pretty good wood grain detail on there, which looks really nice. A little leather strap on there for something extra. We have our little bayonet point on there to attach our bayonet. Not exactly sure what that would be called, bayonet attachment rod or something, who knows. Now, the parts that look metal on this are actually metal. Now, this does have some functionality to it, so we can pull that bolt back and see inside the chamber. which is always kind of fun and satisfying anytime we get some functionality in the weapons. All right, so then we have the what they're calling a combat engineer shovel. Maybe I can unbutton this and we can take a look at it. So the pouch is also leather, so that's pretty nice. And then the shovel is actually wood and metal, so this is actually metal here. Which is pretty nice. Has a little bit of weight to it. Not a lot. The wood's pretty light. Has a little bit of wear on the edge, which is a nice detail. Next we have his belt. That German military insignia on there. Of course, it has that swastika on it too. The belt is leather. Looks like it'll go on fairly simple. Is this one of those hook ones? Yeah, it might be. I'll figure that out when assembling that. Yeah, so that'll hook onto that there, putting his belt on. Okay. Hooks behind the buckle. Then I'll just get this out of the way. This is his over-the-shoulder Y straps. Those were also leather. Here we have a German M43 Field Cap. It doesn't have any insignia on it at the moment. That's something we'll probably have to add later. That comes in one of the little baggies. That's a nice little cloth cap that should go on and fit on top of his head fairly well. Alright, so here they're calling this the mine detector control headphones. Have some writing detail on there. Just above the little coil that has this little... Well, it's supposed to kind of be like the wire, but it's just a little string for us. But it gives it that look pretty well. These turn a little bit. I think it's the same thing on the other side as well. Yep. Does the other one turn? Yeah, it turns, and then that pivots. Pretty cool. Does this bend? Yeah, so that flexes. So it's not something you're gonna put on his head and then it snaps. So there's a metal piece under there, and then this is kind of like rubber. So that's gonna bend and flex so you can fit it onto his head properly, which I really like that they did that. And then that's going to plug into part of his equipment later on. Alright, so let's see this. Here we have the German Bayonet and Frog. Let's go ahead and take that out of the sheath here. There we go. So I do believe this is metal. It has just a little bit of weight to it. It's just a little bit of black detailing on there. Oh, there we go. So there is some wear on that. That's pretty cool. The end's a little bit pointy, but it is not sharp. You're not going to get cut on that. Let's see if we can't attach that onto our rifle here. Why are you not going further in? Okay, so the hole is drilled in there. Oh, there we go. And then that will slide onto there. And that stays on there pretty good. Doesn't slide off. So I'll take that back off of there. I might have scraped the little bit of paint off of the bayonet part of the rifle there. Set our bayonet off to the side. Before I get to the detector and that, just get this stuff out of the way here. We do have a pair of gray gloves that fit over the bendy hands that come on the figure. And we also get a nice leather bread bag. Looks like it has some nice pouches and stuff underneath as well. So there's a couple layers to that. And if we look at our little bags, we have some extra buttons, and we have some little metal bullets attached onto the clip here. And I always like to do this, if I can hold on to the buttons and dump that out. There we go. I always like to see if the clips will fit into the chamber on here. Now, granted, you don't actually put the clip part in, but I'm not going to pull the individual bullets apart, but then they'd push that back in. But yeah, I mean, it fits in there, so you can give it that look like he's loading his rifle. Then here we have a few insignias. So, see, that one I think is maybe the infantry assault badge. He's got a couple of shoulder boards on here, and then a little breast eagle on there, or in there as well. I'm not really familiar with that one at all. So if I get these mixed up, I'm sorry about that, but we'll just have to have that discussion in the comments. I don't know all this stuff off the top of my head. It's more of a learning experience for me, which is one of the reasons why I kind of get these. Now here we have a couple of pins. Or no, this one might be the infantry assault badge. And then that one is a black wound badge. Okay. So, after I kind of figure out what these are, I'll kind of add that into the video chapters or up on the screen there. Alright, so here we actually have the mine detector box or equipment. Not exactly sure what the specific name of it would be, other than just calling it a mine detector. So that flips up. Does that pull out? Yeah. Okay, and then that opens up. It's quite literally just the box. So does the rest of that stuff stow inside there? Oh, what do we got here? Well, I am not going to try to read that. Okay. That's pretty cool. I think the other side opens the same as well. So let me close that one up. Let's open the other side. Oh, there we go. Hey. There's the detector. That's pretty cool. Does knob do anything? No. Okay. Actually, I think it does turn. Hold on. Yeah, the knob does turn. That's great. A little leather strap in there for something. Wait, does that lift out? Whoop. Oh, hey, it actually does. And then there's a little bit of detail under that, too. That's interesting. All right, let me push that back in there, because I want to keep that in there. And then, what was on the lid here? Oh, a lot more stuff. Yeah, if you're really interested there, you can go ahead and decipher that all you want. Warning. Cool. Let me set that off to the side. And then let's take a look at the probe. Now, the probe isn't metal. It is just plastic. And it assembles fairly easily. It's a little extra long so that you don't really want to be near the thing that is meant to kill you. So that'll plug into something, but not bad. It's just a bulb on a stick, basically, a little detector. And, oh, this feels metal, though. I'm calling this a needle. I don't really know the ins and outs of exactly how they use these tools, but I imagine he uses the needle to poke around. And if something's there, might want to check it out. From a fair distance. Alright. Then lastly, he comes with extra hands. A few pairs. These are trigger hands. A little bit of detailing on there. Then rested hands. And that's everything that came with this. So, pretty cool. Let me set him over there, move the camera. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm going to have an assembly video linked in the description. It might pop up here on screen somewhere or at the beginning of the video as well. That's going to be unedited of me just kind of assembling this. But for now, we'll go ahead and get into a montage. This German mine detector is pretty cool. He comes with a wide variety of smaller accessories like his tools that can be used to pose the figure doing numerous tasks, in addition to his rifle, probe needle, and detector. As I can usually expect with the quality that often comes from DiD figures, most of the items that appear metal, except for his small tools, are actually metal. It adds to a more pleasant and authentic feeling when handling the pieces. His uniform is made of good, thick materials, and his equipment assembled easily after I figured out what pieces hook together. It's still an ongoing battle to figure out how to hook all the belts, straps, and packs together on these figures. In the end, I figured it out and had a pretty cool looking figure. The only other complaint I might have here is trying to fit the headset over his ears, which pops out because of the thickness of his cap and the short length of the metal band going over his head. I can get it to look okay, but I had some trouble with that. Overall, this is a very detailed, role-specific World War II era German soldier. Having it in hand and posing it is an experience of its own when it comes to figures of this scale, which is one of the reasons I like these so much. I'm really glad I picked this one out, and I'm also happy that I could get a figure that wasn't SS. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment. I have a variety of figures in my 1/6 scale collection: historical, fantasy, pop culture. If there's something you have in mind that you might like to see reviewed, leave it in the comments. I usually try to focus on things people can still order, but I do have quite a few things I haven't reviewed because of that. Just in case some of you might be eyeing something on the secondary market and aren't sure if you'd want to spring for it. This has been Heartless Spartan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.